Hello, everybody, and welcome to Be Like Christ. Welcome to our 5-minute Bible study. We are discussing Joshua chapter 17 today, and there's a free PDF that you can download, as always, on our website. So go out there, check that out, download it. You're going to see it up on the screen, but you can get it for yourself on the website. Okay, when did these events happen? We've already discussed many times that the Israelites were going into the Promised Land to conquer that land because God had promised it to them. That's why it's called the Promised Land. That was about 1450 BC, and that conquest lasted about 7 to 5 years, or 5 to 7 years, somewhere around there. So we're around 1450 BC, it's 1450 years before Jesus was born, roughly. As far as our main characters, we're not going to talk about Jesus, we're going to talk about Joshua. Joshua was the leader of the Israelites. God had selected him to lead Israel after the death of Moses. We're going to talk about the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh. Now, these were the descendants of Ephraim and Manasseh, who were the sons of Joseph, if you remember him, from the book of Genesis. And then we're also going to talk about Eliezer. Eliezer was the high priest of Israel. He was the son of the last high priest, the first high priest, Aaron. Remember, when Aaron died, Eliezer took his place as the high priest. Okay, now we have our map section, and we haven't moved very much, and we're talking about something similar to the last chapter, so the map pretty much stays the same. The Israelites were camped in Gilgal, according to chapter 14, verse 6, and Joshua 16 and 17 are going to describe the land that was allotted to the tribes of Ephraim and Manasseh and was given to them as their inheritance. We will have another map on the next page that will highlight that particular territory. So speaking of that next page, here it is. You can see it up on the screen. And for our outline, I've got the whole chapter, all 18 verses under one section heading, The Land Allotted to Ephraim and Manasseh Continued, because this was also discussed in the last chapter, as I already mentioned. So chapter 17 picks up right where chapter 16 left off, and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh are being divided out. And remember, the portion of land that each tribe received was decided on by casting lots. Land was allotted to all of the people of Manasseh, including the daughters of Zelophehad, and they had kind of an interesting situation that we've talked about in previous books. There was no male heir in their family, and so God decided that they, as daughters, could receive the land of their father and keep it in their family name. Okay, so scroll out now a little bit on our page, and we'll take a look at this map. It hasn't changed much since the last chapter, but in case you weren't with us for chapter 16, this is what we're talking about. The land that we're talking about specifically is on the left side of the Jordan River. The Jordan River pretty much splits the map in half. We're talking about West Manasseh and Ephraim. Right? So that's what we're zoning in on. That's the land that's specified and outlined here in this chapter. Okay, and so then jumping back up to the last point of our outline, it is also similar to last chapter. Just as in Joshua 16, the text makes mention that the Israelites failed to cast out all of the inhabitants of the land, these inhabitants who worshipped idols and did a lot of detestable things in the eyes of God. The Israelites were supposed to get rid of them all, to drive them all out of the land. However, they didn't do that. And in several cases, rather than drive them out, they subjugated the people of the land, made them their slaves, their servants, and lived amongst them, which was forbidden by God. So that'll be a big issue in the upcoming books, really, and really the rest of the Old Testament. So that is Joshua chapter 17.